the goal, and as I should reverse, I'm going to record this webinar and send out the recording after the webinar. It'll also be posted on our YouTube channel. As you know, you can ask questions and we'll review them at the end of the webinar. Okay, so let's go through step 3. This is a common step where I get questions, and so I wanted to walk through it and make it as simple as possible. So we'll go here to step 3, and as you can see on this sidebar, you can navigate through any page within the portal. We have these tutorial videos. This is the step 3.0 tutorial, and then the total complete step 3 overview. So the 3 major business credit reporting agencies are Experian, Equifax, Dun & Bradstreet. There are other small business credit reporting agencies that specialize in other fields, but these are the predominant business credit reporting agencies. These creditors, with Experian, or these agencies like Experian and Equifax, should look familiar because they are the same business entities that also do personal credit. And so they do look familiar, but these are different. They are for the business. And that's another common question that I get. Okay, so let's dive right into step number 3. We'll hit save and continue here. Looks like we are still having technical difficulties here. So let's get this next page to show up. We are not winning today. Okay, bear with me just for a moment as I work on this. Okay. Okay, here we go. All right, so on this page, this is the corporate Experian page. And what we'll do is we'll start right here on number 1. Number 1 says search. So in the fields below, we're going to enter the exact business name. Now this usually pre-fills with the information you entered in step 1. So what I'll do is come over here and I'll find the closest match and select the listing that is my company. Now, if my company is not listed here, in our example here is ABC Corporation, then that just means I don't have a report with corporate Experian. Okay, and that's okay. What we're going to do is build that report with trade accounts in step number 4. If it is listed, you'll simply click on it, and what you want to look at is this business address and the spelling of your business name. Everything needs to be listed exactly correct. It needs to match your corporate records. That's important as you're working on building your business credit. If there are inaccuracies, you'll simply click here and follow the prompts on Experian's website to update the information. First, it will verify you as an individual and that you're authorized to submit those changes for the business. And then again in this, it says, don't worry if your business isn't listed. We're going to build that file in step number 4. So we'll simply hit save and continue. And then it brings us to the next page that talks about the business Experian monitoring. Now, why would you want to purchase the monitoring? We want to make sure anything that is reporting correctly. So if you have a report, you can see trade accounts are reporting, then you may want to pull the report by using the Experian monitoring. You're going to make sure everything was paid on time, make sure there aren't any liens, judgments, and bankruptcies that shouldn't be there. View your highest credit limit. This is something we want to be as high as possible. And as you're building your business credit, you'll want to apply for increases from time to time to slowly increase that highest credit limit. You'll also look at your business credit score. Now, business credit scoring is different than personal. It's more black and white. If your payments are paid on time, the score goes up. If they're late, the score goes down. There are email notifications that go out when you're signed up for the monitoring, notifying you if something on your report has changed. So you can click here to purchase the monitoring, or here, if you don't have a profile, you can wait to purchase the monitoring until something is showing if you would like, and then you'll simply answer the questions here. So if my business wasn't showing on Experian, I'll select no, and that's okay. Is your business company information accurate? If there's nothing listed, you'll mark no. Did you enroll in the monitoring plan? And in this instance, we didn't because there was no file. I'll hit save and continue. This is Business Equifax. We're going to go through the same process. So we'll start with number 1, and we're going to click here to search. On the right-hand side, you'll enter the business name and state, and then hit search. It will pull up the closest matches and also tell you the number of trade accounts reporting, very similar to the way that corporate Experian works. So you can see many options here. If you do see your business information, you'll want to make sure it's reported correctly. With Equifax, if you have information reporting incorrectly, you simply need to go back to any creditor that may be reporting to them to update that information, and that's tricky. You can see the number of trade lines here. So you technically don't need to purchase the monitoring until you see trade accounts. The reason you would purchase the monitoring is to review the report and make sure what is reporting is correct. You can also contact their customer service with this contact information here. We talked about the monitoring. It's the same scenario as it was on the corporate Experian. You would purchase it if something is reporting to make sure everything is correct. You can also request a free copy of your Equifax report. They will only send it to you if you've been declined for financing or applied for financing, and so they have a complimentary free copy. You'll answer the questions below just like you did in the prior page, and then hit save and continue. Okay, now this is the DMB page. On this page, with this bureau, it's a little bit different. So DMB it doesn't do personal credit. They do function differently. And also I want to bring up that business credit is not monitored like personal credit is by the agency. There aren't as strict of guidelines and so forth. So DMB is another business credit reporting agency. You'll start with them by clicking here to search. You'll type in the company name, the state, and then click search. So you'll look to see if your business is listed. Same scenario as the other two bureaus. If you aren't listed, that simply means that you don't have a DUNS number. You can click right here to get the free DUNS number. You'll also want to make sure the business information, if you do have a file, is correct. If not, you have two options. You can call DMB, this number up here, to get them to update the file. Now, I find they will try and sell you something anytime you call. So you'll have to be pretty firm in telling them you're not interested and you simply want your change to occur. If that rep won't do it, simply end your call with them and call back in. I do recommend purchasing the monitoring to update your business information. It's simpler. You don't have to talk with a rep, and you're going to need the monitoring anyway to see how many trade lines are reporting. DMB does not tell you how many trade lines are reporting like corporate Experian and Equifax does. And we saw that example when we were looking at the Equifax report. So if I saw my entity here, I would select it and proceed to purchase the monitoring. Since my entity is not here, that means I need to set up a free DUNS number. How do you go about doing that? Well, you could call them. Of course, they're going to try and sell you something. So instead, if my business isn't listed, I'm going to click here to apply for the free DUNS number. Now, it takes about 1 month for them to send you the free DUNS number. So if you don't want to wait that amount of time, they will send you an offer to get a DUNS number within 1 week, or you can call the rep to get it within the week and pay for that. You can also purchase the monitoring as part of your setup, and you'll get that in 1 week. Okay, so I clicked on that link to get the free DUNS number. Are you currently attempting to do business with or receive funds from a U.S. government agency? There's a different DUNS number that's applied when you are a government agency or working with a government agency. So in this situation, I'm going to click no. First, it'll have you do the search. And then click search. I'll look for the entity. If it's not there, then you scroll down, and of which we've already identified, and then we'll click on get a DUNS number. Here you'll fill out the form. Okay, and this is the process you use to get the DUNS number. I'm not going to go through and complete it today because you can see it's pretty simple. You can call the advisor team and they will walk you through this process. Back to our website. Once you have that DUNS number, or you verified when you did the search, you'll go to number 3, which is purchasing the monitoring. I did mention that DMB will not tell you how many trade accounts are reporting unless you purchase the monitoring. Experian and Equifax will. It's free. They tell you how many trade accounts are reporting when you do those searches that we just did. DMB does not. So to purchase the monitoring, you can click on these links. The $49 a month monitoring will help you establish your DMB file, get your free DUNS number within 5 days. You get unlimited access to see your business credit report, and you're alerted anytime items change on the report. That's the minimum of what you need. You can cancel that monthly payment at any time. The credit builder is different. The difference is this item right here. You can add 4 credit references, and that's pending verification by DMB. What's a credit reference? Well, let's say that you're a contractor that buys lumber from mom and pop's lumber shop down the road. You've had an account with them for many years, but you know they're not reporting. Well, you could add them as a manual reference. DMB will call them to verify the account, and if they do indeed verify the account with mom and pop's lumber shop down the road, then DMB will add that account onto your DMB file. Now, be cautious. Not everyone qualifies as a reference. Banks, anybody that reports automatically, utility companies, these type of accounts can't be reported on your business credit report. So use the advisor team to guide you through what qualifies as a credit reference and what doesn't. Now you'll see our special note and warning here at the bottom. I get regular urgent phone calls from clients that have heard from DMB and were told they had to purchase something in order to build business credit. That simply isn't the case. We've outlined exactly what you'll need, and you can see what you need from DMB, which is typically just the monitoring. Now, DMB has expensive prices like $7.99 a month or $5.99 a month, etc. You don't need to purchase these packages in order to build business credit, nor is there typically a large benefit. If you do feel interested in them, you can call the advisor team and we can walk you through some of the confusion that happens during their sales process. Don't get me wrong, DMB is a wonderful business credit reporting agency. They are just more aggressive than you would expect from the business credit world. It's not the same as it is on the personal side, where they're definitely limited by the government and so forth. Okay, so let's hit save and continue at the bottom of this page. This page talks about the 3 different reporting models that Equifax, DMB, and Experian have. And like I said before, it's more black and white. You pay on time, you have a good score. You pay late, your score drops. A perfect score with Dun& Bradstreet, meaning you pay everything on time, is 80. If you pay early, it can go up to 100, but it defaults back after a month's payment cycle. The same goes for Experian and Equifax, so they're a little different. Their scores go up to 100, and 100 is a perfect score, and it drops from there. As you know, the advisor team is always here to help you with any questions that you have. Our direct phone number is 800-497-0499. We're always here to guide you and walk you through this program. It's our goal to make sure your business credit reports are set up correctly. We get many clients each day, and it's a privilege working with each of the business owners. And we find, unfortunately, that a lot of reports are set up incorrectly because the creditors that are reporting have the wrong information. So though they originally set up correctly, you need to make sure that when you set up an account with a trade account, a vendor, or a creditor, that you're using the correct business information just as it is written out on your state records. We express that a lot in this program because it is so important. The other thing is when you're moving forward to apply for your trade accounts in step 4, you want to make sure you got your DUNS number in step 3. There may be a little bit of a breaking point as you wait for that DUNS number to come in, but it's worth the wait because you want to get approvals in step 4. Thank you for joining us today. Let's review and see if we have any questions. How long should you pay for monitoring, and at what point would you suggest it's okay to get a report once a year to verify the information rather than paying the monthly fee? So DMB charges quite a bit if you purchase just one report at a time. It's cheaper if you purchase the monitoring and then cancel when you're done. Most clients, I try and help them minimize costs. So while you're doing those searches, and if you see you have a file, I do recommend you purchase the monitoring at that time so you can make sure the information is correct. You'll continue to have the monitoring as you're working through step 4 because you're applying for trade accounts, and we want you to be alerted when a trade account reports, okay? But after that round reports, you're going to go for another round. So I leave that up to the client, and it depends on how much cash flow they have. But typically you'll want to purchase the monitoring for about 4 months as you're waiting for trade accounts to report through step 4 and 5. If you need to skip a month here and there, that's understandable. You can always sign up again. I hope that answered your question, Michelle. I know I gave you more information than a solid answer, but that's because you do have options, and I want you to understand that. Okay, she said yes. Perfect. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. As you know, it's always a pleasure. Join us again next week. We will be going over step number 4 at 4:00 p.m. on Thursday. Have a wonderful day.